and you're involved. You're in the shot. You're guiding everybody. So walk us through what you remember of that episode and setting it up and having to write the segment and all that.
Well, here's the deal. It's like you knew there was an inevitability to it ending, right? Mm-hmm. And then I always had in the back of my head, like, okay, and I don't know how this happens sometimes. And maybe it was, you could speculate, like someone back at the studio, maybe Kevin Dunn's ear with Vince or what, and I don't want to bring up anyone's name or something, whatever. Vince, like, okay, storyline's got to end just in early in the morning, like that day. It's got to end today. And it's just like,
oh, wow.
All right. So then I was like, and this was one of my, I would say a bad moment, but I was disappointed because I'm like, okay, of course. Dudley's throw her through a table again, something. Oh my God, she's on the way to the hospital. She has a miscarriage. You know, Bubba Ray Dudley at the time, his like character was like, we go into a trance, we do something, and it was like, oh, I like, this is perfect. This is what bigger heat than for them to be like, I'm glad, you know, just like, oh, it'd be great. He'll say, I'm glad it's a miscarriage, and instead of some demon kid being born, you know, and Mark Henry so pissed. I'm like, what more heat could you possibly, white hot heat, you know, go into this, that, the other, and then like, nope. Vince is like, no. And somehow I think this is my punishment for coming up with it or something. He goes, no, it's going to end today. She's going to have an obstruction and you're going to deliver it. and I'm telling you that I was like, what? Okay, well, and then I tried to, you know, like a lot of times it'd be like, okay, if I could try to talk him out of something or repitch something, you can only really do it once. It's kind of like, all right, let me re-explain why I think the Dudleys should be involved in this. And then like, nope. And then your only recourse is like, well, I'm on board. My analogy is like, if you had a football coach and you'd be like, we're going to, you know, it's, you know, 4th and 2, we're going for it. And it's off tackle running play. I think we should do this. Nope. You can't go to the huddle like, this is a bad idea. You got to just be like, all right, I'm on board. Fuck it. You know,
right.
And the only thing he did is like, you're gonna get that white coat. You're gonna be a doctor. And this would be the gimmick. And I was like, and I had done things maybe as gonna be like a fake EMT before, and I'm like, can we do the EMT thing? That seems like a little more plausible. You know, it would be too cartoony. And Vince too was like, and we're gonna have what's the obstruction? You know, like, and then Vince went off to Richie Posner, who's the magic guy, the prop guy, and then people were kind of like, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? It was like Vince came running back down the hall. I remember with this, he found a severed hand, right? This rubber hand that was in, Richie Posner had like these big cases with all kinds of like, you know, here's a gimmicked balsa wood bat or just all kinds of stuff, you know, that you might need. You go over there and look at stuff and what have you. And he came running with that. I've got it. This is the obstruction. It's a hand. And we're going to be, you know, cover it with all that goop. And we're going to have those, like, put in some of those, like, stretching noises. And I'm like, really? And I, you know, was like, okay. And that was that. And then he told me as another thing is like a rib to me and Gerald Brisco. He's like, oh, before we went to do it, Briscoe's got like a bad gag reflex, apparently. Legendary gag reflex. And he's like, so do a favor, get Brisco in there, and when you get that hand out there, put it right in his face so he can, like, you know, a little gag. And I'm like, God damn, like, what? Like, yeah, I'm kind of like, am I being punished? Like, what the fuck is going on? Now, you know, first of all, Brisco is one of the, you know, old happy-go-lucky stooge is one of the fucking toughest guys back there, bar none, age, whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, and I got to make him, you know, it's like, wow, okay, fuck it, I guess. That's it. So that was it, you know, and the pace of shows, like I said, you got other stuff going on. It's not, I can't impart this enough. There's no, okay, let's sit down and figure this out. It's like, okay, that's going to happen. Segment 2, we're here. We got this interview over here. We got this match. Okay, get over there. We're doing the, so by the time we're like, here's the gurney, it's happening. You know, you're going down the hallway with her and like, it's happening. And it fucking unfolds, you know, and you're doing things live all the time. And that was it. And the legend was born, and everyone's like, what the fuck was that? And then like storyline over.